good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, and we're back at it again here at the legendary Design Hub co-working space. And I'm now a proud customer of the Brand Factory, and I felt that we would do this show for the African American community or the global African diaspora community that wants to come back and move to Africa to learn some things about branding your business and marketing your business when you enter into a new market. So I partnered with the legend herself, Karen, and she's been helping me with my brand. I'm very, very happy, but I want her to give some tips to you guys as to what you can do and let her explain her brand. Go ahead, Karen, tell them more about yourself.
Yeah, hey, thank you. Yeah, my name is Karen, and I work with the Brand Factory as the CEO and founder. So the Brand Factory is a marketing and comms company. So we do 4 services: digital marketing, visual design, brand activation, which is brand strategy, and finally we do what we call event management. But those events should be able to help you to introduce your brand into the market. So it's marketing the event itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've talked, you've done or performed a lot of collaborations, helped a lot of brands, even in the like the village community, from the urban community. So you're very, very experienced. But today, we're gonna throw a new wrench at you, because now we're dealing with people who possibly wanna move to Africa. Maybe it's somebody from the Ugandan diaspora. They've been in the UK for 10 years. They've been in America for 10 years. They wanna come back, or an African American or somebody from the Caribbean. They wanna come back and become an entrepreneur. But the thing is, they know nothing about branding. Why is branding so important for starting the business here on the continent of Africa?
So branding is very important. And like I tell all my clients, you need to get a plot. You need to get somewhere in the mind of your consumer. So you need to make a place in the mind of the consumer. So branding does that. It is so hard for someone to consume your product if they don't know you. So branding helps you buy space in the mind of the consumer.
Okay.
So you do different things when you make different logos, but also branding helps you to position yourself the way you want to be known.
Okay.
So if you're coming from, the UK, and you're bringing UK products, and you want to say, I am selling the most high product, I have my knowledge and skills, and bringing from that side to here. So how do you communicate that? So branding helps you communicate that in the best way possible. So why is branding very important? It gives you the opportunity to put yourself out there the way you want to be known. You get yourself to be known. That's very important, which is brand awareness. For someone to consume your product, they must know you. So branding helps you create that. Number 3, in the end, branding helps you transform the knowingness, the fame into sales. So in the end, you're able to sell your product. So what more do you want?
Wow, that's just very, 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 very detailed. Let me ask you this, because a lot of people, and we saw that we're gonna ask some questions from our community tab. A lot of people are being so impressed with the country of Uganda. And just, from our meeting with Expat Assist and what the country has to offer, let me ask you this. In your opinion, what do some of the best brands in Uganda, what are they doing to be so effective with marketing and brand strategy?
So the big brands, what are they doing to make sure that they're doing it right? One thing I've noticed is consistency. So once you start, you can't stop. It's where people want quick gains. In branding or marketing, there's no quick gains. I usually say marketing is like dieting. It is a lifestyle. It's not a one-off. So once you come in here, what do the big brands do? What do the Stanbics do to, that's a big bank here? What does GFCU do to keep relevant? You have to do what you do consistently. So what is it that you need to do consistently will be question number 2. Digital marketing. If you have created your social media platforms, keep there. Consistently produce material that goes there. So number 3 is content is king. What you produce on those platforms is what is very important as well. So if you're going to put there things that do not showcase who you are, your consumers, your audience will consume that. So for a big brand that is very strategic, that knows where it wants to go, consistently on a daily produce the kind of content you want. So I've talked about digital marketing. I will also talk about the radios, the the radios are still there. How do you consistently make sure that once in a while you have a budget for radio, once in a while you have budget for TV, once in a while you have a budget. These are very expensive, but they are efficient in a way. Billboards, how do you get your brand on a billboard so that you might not quantify it into sales, but once you make space in the mind of the consumer,
Right.
in the end, it turns into a sale. Because a billboard will not bring a person in your shop, but a billboard will make a person know you exist.
Right.
And you sell this.
Can you say that one more time? The billboard will what?
The billboard will not get a person to walk into your shop, but the billboard will make a person know that you exist and you are there. And once they need your product, you are among the people.
Wow.
You are an option.
Wow. And
Yes.
I want people to understand that this is a not get rich quick scheme. I think that's very important. Let me ask you this. I'm going to give you a scenario. Because you've given us, you and your colleague, so nice to us. You really helped open up my mind as to our Club Uganda episode, what we can do to improve that. I was very, very impressed. Let me just ask you this. Let's say if I was a person moving from Houston, Texas, and I wanted to get into chicken farming. I wanted to grow chickens, all right? And I wanted to, let my brand be aware that I'm growing chickens in the market.
Okay.
Give me some examples of what you think that I would do. I know it's a little bit off the wall question, but if there's some people looking to get into agribusiness that are coming here that you'll possibly be working with from this interview, there are people who want to get into other things. Chicken farming, how would you help a chicken farmer, person who wants to grow chickens, grow in the market? Just
off head. So because it's off head, like he said, so one of the things I would tell you, one of the cheapest and easiest is digital marketing.
Okay.
And over 2 million Ugandans are on Facebook. So one of the things you need to sit down with your marketing consultant or your communication is the target audience. So who's your target audience? Where are they found? So the moment we answer that question, who is your target audience? For chicken, all of us consume chicken in Uganda. And chicken is a delicacy. It's something you eat on special days. So if you're going to target the consumer to eat it on Sunday, who eats it on Sunday on a special day for family celebration, what do? Go on social media, because most of the people who can afford chicken are on social media as well. Okay. So you know that my audience can afford chicken is on social media. So social media is one of the cheapest. And for instance, you don't have to go, very many people think, digital marketing is very expensive. It's the cheapest.
Yes.
For $10,
yes,
you can reach an audience of 2,000 people.
Yes.
For $5, you can reach an audience of 1,000 people. But look at it this way. That 1,000, you have the control over who you target. So you can be very specific and say, I want people between 18 to 40. And is an 18-year-old going to be able to afford my chicken? No, maybe I go down, I reduce the age to 25. So 25-year-old to this. Maybe they should be found in Namuwongo, has a very high population. Maybe let's say Kololo has the high-end people. And those the ones I'm focusing on, those ones would most probably go to a supermarket. So you come down and say, let me go to Ntinda. So Ntinda has a very high population of people who have just gotten jobs because the housing is a bit cheaper and things like that. So it gives you the opportunity to have the target audience. So for the 1,000 people, you have the control. So digital marketing is one. Number two, radio mentions. When you've really finished to exhaust being in the digital marketing space, then you talk about radio mentions, then as you're growing bigger. But let me tell you, for any agribusiness, you need to get your digital marketing platforms very active because that is where your market is. Yeah.
This is a very, very well answered question. I might start growing chickens then. But let me talk about our consultation today.
Yeah.
You looked at what we're doing with the Club Uganda, and we already have those things going. But the one thing that I love about you and what your colleague did is you listened to what we were trying to get accomplished, and immediately you started to putting insight into the strategy with me and DJ Nacello. What I find a lot of value with your company is that you take the strategy so serious. And I think a lot of people that are coming from the Ugandan diaspora, I get emails from people that are living in Japan, people are living in Qatar, people are living in the United States. They know they want to do a business, but they really don't have the content strategy. And every time I was looking at you and your colleague, I just saw notes and notes. You take notes and you listen. What is so important about the strategy? Because people don't think about that. They think about have the money for the business. They think about, I think I know what I want to do, but you focus on the strategy initially. Why do you put so much work in the brand strategy for the consumer, for your customer?
So I would just give you briefly what our marketing and communication strategy would have, first of all. So first of all, we make for you a brief. We sit down and understand who you are, where you're coming from. That is very, very important for anyone, even yourself. It gives you time to step back and say, oh, who am I? What am I up to? Where do I want to go? So we ask you the authentic questions that get you thinking as well. My colleague Truth will have a questionnaire most of the time when we go to meet with a client, especially for meeting number 2. So she has a questionnaire with some of these. And it's interesting when you ask a client, who are you? And they say, whoa, that's a good one. Who am I? So you help formulate that with the client. And we all agree, viewers, that if you know who you are, then you know where you're going.
Right.
So that is what a strategy does for you. A strategy makes you question who you are, where you are, and where you're going. So there's no way of getting where you're going without knowing who you are and where you are right now. So when we write a strategy for you, we answer those questions. But number 2, the other thing is a strategy helps you have a systematic way of going. So you don't just get your bag and get on the plane and go. Right. No, it says at step A, you will do this. At step B, you will do this. You will phase into this. And this is the cost this is how much it will cost you. So I will go to Uganda and we say, you guys, you're going to start with digital marketing. But for that, it will cost you $1,000 a month. And what does that $1,000 entail? It entails adverts, it entails a management firm, it entails this, it entails that. And you say, how do you know that? Hey, it's experience. I have done strategies for more than 5 companies, so 6. But those 7, 10 strategies that I've done, they're totally different. But in a way, all of them are given a way. Where are they going? Where are they coming from? And who are they? And when we answer those questions, a strategy gives you an opportunity for us to say, go baby steps. Now you have grown. You've reached the standing stage. Can you now stand up? And we have done the basics, so that the basics, you build on the basics. So yeah, a strategy is very, very important. And if you're going to spend, it's one of the most expensive ventures in marketing or branding, because it takes a lot of time, it takes research, it takes time, but it also gives you a lot of interactions with the client. And not just the client, with also his clientele, the ones he wants to get into. So how do we do the dynamics? Yeah.
Let me ask one more question before we get into the community tab questions.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking off the camera.
Yeah.
And I was saying so many people are now, because of what's happening in the United States with some of the race relations and the current president, a lot of African Americans are looking at possibly relocating to the continent of Africa. So are some of the Ugandan community and other people from the diaspora looking at coming back to the continent to take advantage of just being here, learning more about one's history and ancestry. But one of the things that I feel that is needed is a lot of people come here and they start the business without having a brand strategy before they get here. But I know somebody's gonna say, well, Karen and the Brand Factory are in Uganda. I've never been to Uganda. Would I be able to start with them by building a strategy? Although I want to come to Uganda, I haven't been there yet, but I can start the brand strategy now, and then by the time I come to the continent of Africa or I come to Uganda, I'll be able to get directly into the market because I have more of a strategy to go on for myself.
Yeah.
Is that something that they can do?
Oh, that's something you can do, because there's all kinds of digital marketing ways of talking. So we can communicate online. We make it so simple. So we have most of you've seen what COVID has done. It has showed all of us to be online. So most people have the misconception, oh, there's no good internet in Africa. No, if you're building a business like the Brand Factory, you must be able to have internet every time.
Yeah.
So we shall make sure that whenever you want to contact us, in brief, even when you're in the US, even when you're in the UK, you can still talk to us and we can still do something for you. So I will give you a brief example of a website we built for someone from the Netherlands. So we had even never met this person before, but then they found us online, they contacted us, and we started building this over 15-page website. So
Wow.
a lot of work, a lot of money has gone into it, and we met them just last year towards the end. But it was a lovely project that took us out of our little world and into working with these guys.
Right.
Yeah, so it's something you can do even when you're not here, so that when you come here, most of the things have even already been set up. Yeah.
So I want you guys to know they do everything, right? Logo design, website, with the idea, not just building the website for you, but building a website that brands with the right colors, brands with the right audience. It's a one-stop shop. Just like the Expat Assist was a one-stop shop for repatriating, this is a one-stop shop for brand. They do everything. And I can say with our 2 consultations that we had, I'm very, 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 very impressed. I cannot wait to implement the things that you guys have done for our brand and what we're going to be seeing in the future. Once I heard that, I was sold. I was like, you know, this is a very, very talented. Your team is very, very talented, and I want people to really you know, collaborate with you. But I want to ask some questions that we have from the community. I have just 2, and the first question that we have comes from. So we have a question from Shani B. She wants to know, and shout out to Shani B. Is in-person networking, example, hosting and attending events on social media, the most effective strategy for people new to the area? Is there an established public relations industry, or do most high-dollar business people tend to handle their own PR within their own team?
Okay, so she has asked, I think, 2 to 3 questions in one. So I will start with the networking question. So right now, there are no events happening. But usually for me, one thing I know about people in Uganda, they like human contact. We're Africans, we like to get together, we like to get to know each other. So human contact is very important.
Right.
But in these current times, I would say, hey, go online.
Okay.
Fit into the times, run with the times. So when you hear about an event, go online, be part of it. That establishes for you the physical connections when they come back. So you have actually been able to build a network online that you can tap into when the physical connections come back. That will have to come back one day. So my advice would be currently, attend all the networking events online, all those, and those things are a bit flexible. You don't have to spend time dressing up and everything, so it makes it easier to attend events. But you also get to meet different people because very many people attend online events. But then the physical connections, once they are allowed, for me that is the biggest strategy. And that has been the biggest strategy for the Brand Factory as well. That is how I managed to slip myself into the market for the last 2 years and be sustainable. I'll be honest with you and say, the connections I've made from the physical networking events have built what we are.
You know, I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
Try to go to the networking events, the Design Hub, when they had them. It's good for the foreign expat community, the blacks that are coming, to get involved.
Yeah.
You know, with talented people like even me. Your colleague was telling you see me walking around Design Hub looking suspicious because I was looking for people I can partner with physically. And that's what happened. I walked right into your office and
we're like, oh, you're welcome. How can we help you?
Exactly.
You know, when the person gets to talk to you, you feel the warmth, you feel, whereas online, that would be hard to feel, the connection, yeah. So for the PR firms, I would say that they are organized PR firms, of course, but also depends on what you want. Do you want to keep it in-house? Do you want to be able to manage it? But also that doesn't, what I say about having an in-house team, creativity is a bit reduced. So on a higher end, it will be much better for you to have a PR organization run it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last question is, what's the best medium, TV, digital, mobile, radio, print, to reach an audience in Uganda and East Africa in general? That's from Inbox Black Media. I think I know what you're gonna say, but if you had to pick one, TV, digital, mobile, radio, or print.
So I would go digital. You've all had me, I've been one of the strongest supporters for digital. But why? It's cheaper, very many of us are there, your consumer target audience, people who can be online are able to purchase something. That is how I perceive it.
Right.
Yeah, so go digital, which is also mobile.
Mobile, right.
Yeah, so digital mobile, so I would choose that.
Okay. So those are the two best questions. And Karen, we're gonna put your information to the first comment pinned to the top. Do you mind if we have the phone number on your business card, right? And the website.
Great, yeah.
So tell people, anything else about the brand you want them to know before we close out.
So I would want to say that if you want to make your business, if you want to invest in something, in a business in Uganda, marketing is not a luxury. Marketing is something you need, and the brand factory is someone you could go to. We're not out there to pick money very fast. We're out there to listen to you, get to understand where you're coming from and what you want to do. So what is our biggest thing? We build, we empower, and we help you reach your final goals. So we build your brand, we empower it. After building it, after the foundation, we empower it so that it can be able to stand on its own with time, but also reach your target audience. Yeah, so that's what, branding is not a new concept. Branding is something that has been around. And I would advise that once you come into this market, you also need to know how to put yourself out there because it's important.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. And again, thank you so much, Brand Factory. And until next time, keep it real. Kangana forever. We out.